Hi there, I'm Bumi, and welcome to the Live for Your Liver podcast. If you've ever felt stuck, unheard, or just plain exhausted trying to figure out your liver's condition, you're not alone. I've been there. This space shares real stories, practical tools, and gentle guidance I wish I had. We'll explore lifestyle, emotional wellness, and natural ways to reconnect with your body. Whether you're here to learn, heal, or feel seen, you belong. This podcast is for educational purposes only and does not replace any medical advice. Please consult with your healthcare provider, for specific care to you. If you've been told your body can't heal, or that your only options are medications or just waiting for things to get worse, today's episode is for you. My guest today, Rhetah Kwan, as many of us know her as Tar. She was the key part of the wellness path that helped me go from liver disease, fatigue, injuries in my brain to vibrant energy and deep healing. She's someone I trusted when I needed answers beyond what conventional care could give. Now, what we're talking about today might feel new to some of you: regenerative wellness, light based support, and the body's natural stem cell potential. But I invite you to listen with curiosity because no matter where you are in your health journey, your body hasn't given up on you. And there is more hope than you've been told. So, Ta, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Bumi. It's such a pleasure and honor to be with you.
Always a pleasure. So, let's dive in. What was the pivotal moment that first drew you into regenerative, natural stem cell focused wellness technologies?
Well, I think there were many milestones along the way, but definitely 30 years of being consumed trying to find help for my husband, David. I consulted with every medical specialist you can imagine. I studied homeopathy for many, many, many years. I worked with every model of healer all over the world. My brother helped me connect with people, other people. I tried hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of products. I joined companies that made claims that they could help someone like my husband. And then a friend ended up telling me about this. He said, the new world of highly advanced phototherapy. I hadn't thought about phototherapy in a long time, and he called it photobiomodulation.
Wow. I've seen firsthand what that can do. And I was skeptical, at first, but as my liver started to respond and my energy came back, I realized that this isn't, just theory, it's real. And if I can ask you if you're able to briefly share your personal journey.
Sure, absolutely. So, like many of us, it's like I think we have many personal journeys, don't we? Collecting all these stories. But I think the key one again was centered around my husband David. The extreme pain and grief. I've never felt grief like that. Complete overwhelm. And I was consumed. I was terrified. I was consumed, and became extremely narrowly focused, and definitely driven. You could call me
Mhm.
driven to find a way to help David. I just I believed there was a way and that there had to be someone or something in the world that could help him. You know, he had had his gallbladder removed in emergency surgery and got a bacterial infection that spread to his brain,
Mm.
and he disappeared while his body slowly deteriorated. The last 9 years were real horror, and I was just flailing around in all directions trying to find someone because I was the strong one. I was the one who was supposed to be helping. I was the one who was able to help everybody and the rock. And it just, it was impossible to me that I couldn't find help. And, I was so overwhelmed with grief. Water started just pouring out of my eyes all the time. It was just constant water coming out of my eyes. And, I kept myself as busy as I could, looking for talking to people, talking to everyone. And but it was really interesting, morning to night. And during those years, there were many years I couldn't work. At one point, there was 3 years I didn't work at all. But I
Mm.
had built an organization previously with people all over North America and grateful that I had connected to that dedicated wellness group back in 2004. Because when I did step away for 3 years, the money kept coming in. Those people weren't my employees. So, and David's care costs spiraled way, way, way up there. It makes me think about I helped launch the first electronic medical records company back in 1990. And even though I worked there for 12 years, 16-hour days, if I had to step away for 3 weeks, they would have fired me. So, very different world.
Yeah, hearing you share that means a lot. It means so much because it shows what's possible, even when things feel hopeless. And when my liver markers were off, I felt stuck. Your example gave me hope. And that's what a lot of people are looking for. They need that hope that there's always an option, there's a solution out there. And your example, is something that will resonate with a lot of people out there.
I think
So,
so too. I think
yes,
so too. Uh, you feel alone.
yes,
You feel frightened, you feel alone. And especially when you're thinking about the liver or the brain. I mean, it's like, these are heart. I mean, these are big things, but your liver, a
yes,
lot of these organs can regenerate themselves when they're given, the right stuff. And so you flail around trying to find the right stuff and
exactly.
listen to this one and read this and read that, and you just start feeling isolated and alone.
Yes. And you talked about brain. That's actually how we met. You know, um, it was not about my liver at first.
Yeah, that's right.
And and I remember, stepping in a pool of water, banging my head, on the metal shelf, and my world changed. I found myself not able you know, to do my normal work and normal routine, not able to, do anything really. And I searched for solutions just like you did. I mean, the medical community, they are fantastic. They know what they know, but there are other side,
Mm,
of how you can, combine the two and help people. And when I got stuck, it was you that actually helped me get out of that, how would I call it, dark stage of my life. And
mm,
here we are. We became so much, friends. We work together, and like I say, the sky is the limit when we are helping people. So you spoke about, love as the bridge.
mm.
How does that principle intersect with the cutting edge science of photobiomodulation that you are now championing?
Well, it's interesting. The connection between it's a wonderful marriage. It's a wonderful union. At its core, photobiomodulation is kind of an elegant fusion of physics and biology. So you have light waves designed to awaken cellular pathways of healing. But without an open heart, right, as the guiding intention, the cells receive data, but the emotional context to truly integrate doesn't happen. The transformation doesn't happen. But when love becomes the bridge, when you are open, right, the body's kind of subtle bioelectrical communication, nitric oxide signaling amplify the benefits of light, on a molecular level. So I call it intentional empathy. Widens your inner pathways, right? Oxytocin release, the parasympathetic activation to expand your microcirculation. So photons can penetrate deeper, right? They're kind of engineered wavelengths of light. Meet emotional resonance in a love-driven focus that synergizes the light to mobilize stem cells, optimize mitochondrial function, and ignite your capacity for self-repair. I mean, it's a beautiful dance.
Yes, it is. And for those people who don't understand that big word, photobiomodulation, it's good to refer them to just think about your vitamin D.
Yeah,
You know, think about how that works when you go to your doctor's office and they tell you about vitamin D. So we're talking about just about the same thing in a very different and much advanced way. And
that's right.
you explained that fantastically well.
Yeah, thank you. It's
Yes.
it. I mean, it's that dance. It's that dance that happens. You go out in the sun, your vitamin D levels go up, your vitamin C levels go up. You're not even aware of it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly. And that was one of the tools that played, kind of like a quiet, powerful role, for me. It didn't fix everything overnight, but it gave my body the support it needed to start repairing. And that I appreciated a lot. And then my labs, eventually reflected that. And that's what a lot of people will notice and why a lot of people tend, to stick to this because they can see the remarkable improvement.
I think if people are willing to be patient, that's a key.
Yes,
Love, self-love, patience. Slow is the new fast.
exactly.
You know, slowing down. And patience will really reward them here.
Yes.
Really reward them. And it's not, I don't say it, flippantly.
Mhm.
It's something that many people, have tried so many things, that it's like, come on, there's got to be something. And then, you find this arena and you want to really go back to step one of patience.
Mhm.
Have the patience of the
Yes.
beginner again,
Yes.
because it's after 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of struggling with something, then you do want to be able to be patient. And when you do, there's something magical that happens.
Oh, yes. I'm a living proof.
That's that's right.
I'm
You're
a
you're
living proof.
you're liver proof. That's
I'm a
right.
liver proof. Exactly. Exactly. I dropped that R and I'm living again.
That's so great. That's so great.
So, I mean, facing overwhelming fear and grief, so many are struggling, with and all the they're struggling with this, and all this mounting care cost. What do you do, that is practical with your mind body routine that have helped you, stay sane?
Yeah, sane. It's a really good word. I coined the phrase, as a coach, I coined the phrase, decades and decades and decades and decades ago, staying sane when your world goes crazy, right? I didn't realize the whole world was going to go crazy. But, kind of during what I called, grief's darkest storms,
Mm.
I anchored myself in tiny daily rituals that kind of brought me back to self-love, brought me back to breath, brought me back to my life that lit a path forward. Every time despair, and sometimes it was multiple times a day, would threaten, I would recommit to myself. And when I couldn't do that, I would recommit to my husband, to David. And I'd say, I can't help him if I don't take care of myself. I would transform my pain into purpose. And those practices kind of reignited me on an ongoing basis. It grounded me in compassion.
Mm,
It fueled my resilience and it allowed me to keep going, keep staying at the center of love and focus on my life and focus on helping David. And it was like a thread. It was like a thread.
mm,
And I had to just keep coming back to that. And I had a couple of good friends and a couple of family members who were right there. They were right there. I learned to ask for help.
yeah,
I was always helping. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, I I mean, there was no question I had to have help.
yeah,
I had to sell the house. I had to, you know, I mean, it's like standing at the bottom of a mountain, and every day you're looking up at the top of the Matterhorn, and it's like, you need to get to the top. And it's like, okay, what step can I take today?
mm,
What's the step? And learning how to ask for help, learning who to ask, what to ask, a very big deal. And I teach people now, who to ask, what to ask for, how to ask, so that it's not threatening, because you're raw. I mean, it feels like all your skin has been ripped off. You're that vulnerable and you're terrified and you're so sad. I mean, so much pain. And so the idea of asking for help, is not usually first on people's
yes,
minds.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And that was huge for me too, because I was doing everything right, on paper, but my nervous system was stuck in stress.
Mhm. Mm.
And until I addressed that, the liver really didn't start to shift. And I remember, just waking up every day thinking, why am I still alive? I should be gone.
Mm.
And, just like you said, I had to bring back to that place where I had to let myself be open. And that was
No,
that
it's
was
huge.
when transformation began.
Well, and I remember, I mean, you didn't even mention the liver. I mean,
No,
in the beginning, we're working with, the loss of eyesight and
yes,
balance, and, that was our focus because, we meet people where they are, we help them with what they say they want.
yes,
But as the numbers improved, right, then you were willing to take you get frightened when you even see improvement, right?
yes.
Because you're afraid it's not real or it's not going to stay, right?
And what happened with my was actually, I didn't never thought, that this tool is going to can actually help the liver. So that was not even on my radar because I started other modality first, changed my lifestyle, and I saw the first sign of change, of improvement. But then we were waiting for these other markers to change,
Mm.
and nothing was moving. During that time was when I had that accident. And I remember asking you after, I started improving with the accident. I remember asking you, can this help the liver?
Yeah, I
You
remember. Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
And you shared with me what I needed to do.
Hmm.
And everything else, just the lab just, I mean, it just went wild. just improved. It was kind of like an overnight thing.
Mm.
Within 6 months, what we've been waiting for like a year, that didn't move a needle. All of a sudden, just boom, And then my doctor was like, I mean, I could remember my doctor, when I saw him, he said, I wanted to call you before our appointment. But I thought, let me just wait. You know, I was so happy because when I saw that, I jumped up and, let me just, and meanwhile, I was doing the same thing.
He
you
was
know?
shocked.
Yes. Yeah. And to the point that, it was, the thing is, this kind of tool, most people really don't know the magnitude of what it can do.
No.
Even me, in healthcare for how many years, 30 something years, I never heard of this before. But sometimes, they say divine intervention. It was divine intervention that brought me here, that brought me to you.
Mm.
So, and I never forget things like that. Something that I cherish, and a lot of people are actually benefiting from it now.
Mm. Well, I mean, it's so precious. It is extraordinary. One of the things that we don't realize are the people we're going to meet while we're on this path. I mean, can you imagine if we never met each other? I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that.
Yes.
But what are the possibilities that we would have connected?
Yeah.
It's we're unstoppable on so many levels. We are limitless on so many levels.
Yes.
And that's why I love the wellness community that we're in.
Yes.
I love the work that we're doing,
Yes.
being in service to people, being open, supportive, you know, not judging, trusting people. I mean,
Yes.
it's it's a divine service. And I think, the glory of it is, we get to be friends.
Exactly. Exactly. And we're working together, we're
Yeah.
friends, and there's so much out there to do. So
Yeah.
many people, to help.
It's
And
very exciting.
yes, very exciting. Now let's
Yeah.
talk about your book.
Oh,
Congratulations,
yay. Yeah.
you
It's
know,
so fun.
becoming a
It's
best-selling
so fun.
author. You know,
So, yeah, it's going to be called Light Beyond Limits. And it's basically it's interesting. I took a writing workshop, and I've been contributing chapters to collections of books that get published, and that's been fun. I mean, all my life people said, write, write, write. It's like, no, I've not got time. I don't have time for this. And stories would come to me, and it's like, no. And now it's fun. I close my eyes, I put my hands on the keyboard, and I write. And the publisher of the last three books that we did called me up and says, "You need to write your own book." It's like, well, I wasn't going to do it this year, but I did a short, brief workshop with her, and she's brilliant. This woman is a brilliant publisher. And she said, she gave us all this criteria, and she said, just make a list of all the possible topics. And I was actually going to write about staying sane when your world goes crazy, because there is a story there of my husband and everything I've learned. And I do want to put that out because I think I've learned some key things that might help people.
mhm,
But then she added a question. She said, does it make you happy? And I thought, well, it feels like I want to do it. I feel like I should do it, but it doesn't really make me happy at this moment because, I feel like I've just kind of gotten clear of a lot of things that make me sad.
mhm,
So I knew immediately I wanted to write about photobiomodulation. I want to write about the wellness community. I want to write about the opportunity of being connected to a wellness community like this. I want to be able to reach, I'm thinking women 40 to 55 that's in service-focused careers, nurses, coaches, healers, wellness entrepreneurs, and to be able to really hit the nail kind of on the head or whatever that saying is, um, and deal with chronic stress and grief and people longing for a spark of self-love and renewed energy
Yeah.
through science-backed, heart-centered healing.
Yes.
It's and being supported by a tremendous global community.
Yes.
I think it's good. And then I'll weave in my little stories, into that too, play with it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, if listeners were to walk away with one piece of advice about balancing their vital health, staying sane when their world feels crazy, and
Yes.
financial stability, what would that be?
It's got to be spend the time to connect with your heart. Get clear about who you are and what you want. And no matter what the stories in your mind are saying, no matter if you can feel or have it, think you know it right now, stay there. Spend time. Lean into your circle of people who love you. Um, you know, Connect with the person you trust more in the world and share your dream with them. Let them know what you want that's coming from your heart of hearts, right? And tell them you want encouragement, not feedback. You don't need their feedback. You just tell them, just encourage me. Just trust me that I'm following the path of heart and stay connected and grounded with your heart. And then release everything else. Just release it. It's like going through your closet and it's like if you haven't worn, this clothing in a year, get rid of it unless it's some special thing for some special event. Clean out, lighten up. It's like I think of it like if you're sculpting, and you start with a big block of marble, right? But the artist can see the image in the stone, and they're just taking away what is not the statue, right? The image. That's what we can do with this. We can go, this is who I am, and this is what I want, and honor that, and just remove everything that is not that.
You know, if you guys, those of you listening, this wonderful lady is filled with wisdom, big heart. And I said this because that statement just made, I always remember because you are the first person that advised me about that. I remember when I was invited to the Times Square women celebration in New York, and they asked me one question that, what is one thing that someone told you that you cherish? And that was that statement that she
Mm.
said, always listen to your heart. And I never forget that because anytime that I'm kind of like doubting things, I always think, what would Rhetah say? I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm telling you the first time. That's what will Rita say? She will say, listen, listen to your heart. What does your heart say? And that is what I live by most of the time now. I want to thank you for that
Yep.
because
Yeah.
that has done me very well.
Well, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. And it comes through us. It comes through us. And I'm very grateful that it was given to me and I can pass it on. I mean, that's what we can do. We pick up things. It's like, oh, I resonate with that. Oh, okay. We can pass it on.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so grateful.
Yes, me too. So, where can people go to learn more about your work, connect with you, or schedule a complimentary session with you?
Absolutely. I am happy to do a complimentary session. You can go to my website. It's basically my name, RhetahKwan.com. And the spelling of my name is Rhetah. Last name is Kwan. People do call me Ta. They're like, what is that? I'll call you Ta. RhetahKwan.com. And you'll see a first page, kind of generic, but click on regenerative cell therapy and just take a look, see if something jumps out at you. I'm happy to meet with you. I'm happy to share some tools and tips and ideas. And I have a little assessment, a little free assessment if anybody likes. So yeah.
And I'll collect that information from you and I'll put it in the chat so that people will be able to see that and get in touch with you.
Oh, thank you. That'd be
Yes,
wonderful.
yes. And what's the next frontier you're most excited about in regenerative
Yeah,
health and subsidy?
it's it's I believe that we can hear the messages that are coming from the body, um, and the emotions. It starts so much starts in the emotions, and we can become more finely tuned to hear those messages. Many people hear them, and you don't have to wait till they're screaming at you to listen. It sometimes starts with just a little, just it's so quick little whisper. And everybody has this ability, this intuition to check in and listen. And the more you practice it, the quieter you get and leave a little space for it. Not running out the door, try not to rush. Rush steals the gold that's inside of you. And when you're calmer, you're listening, you can hear what's going on. And I think that's going to become more and more available as we kind of move forward. Someday, there won't be as many people that we go to tell us what's happening with the body. We will tune in. We will say, and then there'll be people offering resources and things as well, but we will be able to tune in. And the magic is you can do it right now. Right now.
Wow. Isn't she wonderful? She's a wonderful lady.
Thank you so
Wonderful
much.
lady. We have to have you back here. Yeah, there's so much wisdom in this lady that we need to have her back here and share some more with us.
Well, it's so much fun to be here with you. I say it all the time. I wish we were next door to each other.
I know.
Um, that would be that would be a dream.
I
So you
know.
never know what's going to happen in the future.
Exactly, exactly. So I just want to thank you so much, Ta. Not just for what you've shared today, but for the role you've played in my own journey, your
Mm.
heart, your wisdom, your belief in what's possible and
Mm.
how that's changing more lives than you probably even know. So divine.
Yeah, well, it's what I'm here for.
Thank you. And
It's what I'm here for.
thank you all to our listeners for sharing this space with me today. If this resonates with you, subscribe to my channel. Add You will see the download for my free 7-day liver reset checklist. It's a gentle daily guide to help you reconnect with your body and support your liver naturally. Also, join my Facebook community. It's called Live for Your Liver, and healing is possible. You don't have to do it alone. So, until next time, be gentle with yourself, and remember, live for your liver because it silently supports you.